Welcome everyone to the fourth episode of Fast Five. My name is Josh Smitherman, Vice President of Business Development and Marketing at Jostin Construction. And today I am joined by
Gerron McKnight, Vice President of Human Resources at Jostin Construction.
Awesome. And we're going to get right into your questions, Gerron. First of all, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. And your first question is, what does the future of human resources at Jostin Construction look like, and what is your role in leading us into that future?
Oh, it's a great question. The future of human resources at Jostin Construction, it's not just being, the Office of Discipline or the Office of Policy and Procedure. It's really leading our workforce into the next century, the next iteration of technology, better utilizing data and harnessing that for constructive purposes. It's not the traditional, people hear HR and they think of, oh, I'm in trouble, or, sometimes it's, oh, I just need my password to get in or whatever. It's really thinking about things holistically. So from my perspective, in my role in leadership, it's keeping track of what's happening around us, staying connected to the community, staying connected to our employees, and really making sure that the rest of our leadership team is equipped as managers frontline, or whether they're in the the general office, to be able to facilitate practices, procedures, and just being good people, maintaining our folks, upskilling them, and feeling confident that we'll retain folks and be able to hire as we continue to grow.
So you've worked in law, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and workforce development, as well as executive recruiting. How do those experiences inform how you're leading your team at Jostin?
So my background is as an employment lawyer. And so when you're in a firm environment, you have a lot of great attorneys around you. They might not practice the same things that you do, but they have a different way of thinking about things and a different expertise. But at the firm, I learned you should leverage that diversity of thought and experience that folks have. In law firms and law in general, there's a lot of that, leveraging other people's talents to be successful. DEI, same way. I love the diversity of thought and experience. So on top of that, I learned how to create safe spaces for people to where they can come in, we can talk about serious things, even have a good time, and get people in the right headspace to be able to go out and do the best work possible. Thinking about the executive recruiting space, right person, right seat, we talk about a lot at Jostin. And I really learned how to lean into that, how to really understand a company's culture and a person's skill set and what they bring to the table, and again, how to leverage that for both parties.
As Jostin continues to grow, how do we scale culture and people-first strategies in a meaningful way?
Really, for me, it goes back to looking at our values and keeping those top of mind. And so in any decision that we make, as we continue to grow, there'll be more people. It'll be, in some ways, harder to reach them, although technology is making that easier. But making sure that we're thinking about our values and making sure that people are replicating those values no matter where we are. So if you're in Cincinnati or if you're in Lexington, we're all on the same page in terms of what we care about and who we are and how we present in the market. Leaning into technology, especially, to become more efficient and frankly, better capable of serving our clients. Right now, AI is really the big thing, but there's always that next thing. The companies that don't embrace these technologies really fall behind. We don't want to utilize that for replacing employees by any means. We want to make people's lives and jobs easier and more efficient.
Great answer. So you serve on several community boards, including the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, Episcopal Retirement Services, as well as Cincy Works. How does the work that you're doing on those boards inform the work that you're leading at Jostin?
Really serving on those boards gets me connected to the community at large. It also trains me how to be a better servant leader. These are not-for-profit organizations. I serve as a volunteer, and I love to give back, but I love to see all the impact that we're having in the community. And so, from a business perspective at Jostin, it could help, help us understand, things that are happening, people who want to build, partnership opportunities, but I think just good corporate governance, and something that really attracted me to Jostin is how much we give back. And so even if we get nothing out of it from a business perspective, I know I get a lot personally out of it. I love to serve, and I know it's a great benefit to our community. So, it helps in a lot of ways, and I want to, mirror that example for our employees as well, and encourage them to volunteer and give where they can as well.
What's one HR priority that you're already thinking about as we move into 2026?
Maintaining our culture as we continue to grow. And there are a lot of different facets to that. So, part of our culture is really just keeping people retained for their career if we can. and helping them continue to grow in their career. So making sure that we're working on upskilling, reskilling as technology and times change. And also just making sure that people feel physically and psychologically secure, frankly. I mean, we don't want anybody to feel like they're just a number. We want to make sure that people know that we do care about them. And so keeping an eye on trends, again, listening to what's going on in the community, and just making sure that we relate to people on a personal level and make sure they're okay. As you continue to grow, there's challenges with that at times, but if you're intentional about it, it's definitely doable. And so that's already on my mind and thinking about strategies on how to execute on that.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Gerron. And thank you everyone who's been watching the 4th episode of Fast 5 Questions with Jostin Leadership. Again, we're grateful to you, Gerron, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.